Welcome back, everyone. This week, we are going to begin work on our class project in creating our survey. So this week's lecture is all about how to design a survey and create questions for that survey. In doing this, we're going to talk about important things that you should consider before you develop your questions. These things will include, what is my research question? What am I trying to understand? What types of data do I want to collect? Quantitative versus qualitative. And what levels of measurement do I want my data to be? Do I want nominal? Do I want ordinal? Or do I want interval or ratio level variables? Another consideration is common types of error in survey design. This primarily has to do with how the survey looks. An important consideration in this is how the survey will be administered. Is it going to be printed on paper and handed to the participant to fill out? Is it going to be a list of questions that you have and you verbally ask the participant and you record the response? Or are you going to administer this online? Each of those things need to be considered as we design the survey so that it looks correct for the participant when they are filling it out. Another thing that we will talk about are common things that we should avoid. Some of this, again, has to do with the design of our survey, but some of it has to do with how we order our questions and how we word our questions. As a part of that, we will talk about some common errors in wording questions. Please make sure you review that part of the lecture before completing this week's assignment, because if you have questions in your assignment that have common errors in them, you will lose points on that part of the assignment. Finally, we'll talk about the difference between open-ended and closed-ended questions. Generally, closed-ended questions can only be answered with one or two words. Closed-ended questions are also questions where the response options are already provided to the participant. Most of the questions in our survey will be closed-ended because we want to collect quantitative data that we can analyze in this class. We will have some open-ended questions. An open-ended question is a question that elicits a response that is several sentences to a paragraph long. This is a form of qualitative data collection. And while we won't actually analyze the qualitative data, we are going to ask one or two open-ended questions just so we can get a look for how that data looks after we've collected it. This week's activity is the first part of the assignment in the class assignment. For this activity, you will each individually be tasked with writing part of the demographic survey. Demographic questions, if you remember, are questions that answer information about a participant. This includes things like age, race, sex, education, type of living arrangement, marital status, number of children, etc. We will have a demographics part of our survey that we ask people to fill out so that we can understand who our participants are when we do our analysis. It can also be important to have this demographic information to understand differences between our participants and their responses. As a part of this assignment, each of you will need to write 5 demographic questions. The questions need to come from each level of measurement. That is, you need to have 1 nominal level question, 1 ordinal level question, 1 interval level question, 1 ratio level question, and 1 open-ended question. Please remember when doing this that ordinal level questions include Likert scales. So if you ask a question that says, please rate something on a scale from 1 to 5 or a scale from 1 to 7, that is an ordinal level question. If you have any questions as you're designing this, please let me know. Thank you.